Welcome to Jimmy Lewis's riding school. This was a free ride after our class was done. It was on a beautiful Sunday with the weather in the 60s, so perfect riding conditions. Um, Sadly, some of the footage I took didn't take, and then some of the footage that I got, as you can see, is pointing at the ground. My camera, I'd forgotten some attachments for mounting my camera on my helmet, so I had to kind of make do with what I did. And if the helmet slid forward, um, it ended up pointing at the ground. So as you notice, you get a great view of the trail, but not much of the horizon. Um, anyway, it's my first attempt at video editing and voiceover, so this is pretty much an experiment for me. You do get a good chance to just see how rocky the trail was and how sandy in parts it is. And unfortunately, the parts that I really wanted you to see, where we drop off into a 10-foot arroyo and come back out, for some reason the camera just stopped filming at that point and didn't come back on until after Jimmy Lewis had driven off a cliff and landed the bike and drove it down a couple 100 foot down into the canyon and came back out, which I do have on one of my other footages, so you'll get to see that. But that wasn't actually my recording. It was recorded by one of the guys who gave me permission to put it on YouTube. So anyway, you can kind of get a feel for what the day was like, and it was a really fun day. Man, it was cool, and we got to use everything that we learned in the school, so it really paid off. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it, and have fun. Also, hope you guys get to get out and do your own riding. Here in the islands, we don't get quite as much riding as you guys get to do. I mean, we can do a lot, but we're limited on how many trails we've got. It's funny, on days like this, you can just ride forever too. It's so nice. The sad part is everything comes to an end. Being one of the slower guys, you will see people passing me periodically, but all right. Yeah, this goes on. I guess we got about 15 minutes of riding recorded. We were out for about a good hour and a half, and it was just perfect day for it. There you get a chance to see how soft some of the gravel was. We do get into a little bit of light sand, but nothing like we had in the school. We'd gotten in. There was a place out in the dry lake bed that had some just real deep soft sand. It was really fun to ride in. It was a good opportunity to get practice riding in sand. As you can see here, it's getting pretty soft, but mostly gravelly. Not too hard to ride. Yeah, as you noticed, the horizon's kind of crooked, and that was due to the way the camera was mounted on my helmet. Like I said, I didn't have the proper brackets for mounting it on, so I just had to make do. Yeah, we'd made a couple stops there, but I'm not sure whether this was. Well, I think this was the first time this one. Anyway, this was just after Jimmy done the jump, so we're heading back out. Yeah, these wide dirt roads weren't that much fun to ride on. I liked riding mostly on the single track and the double track trails. They had a lot more technical riding, but it was still a beautiful day to be on the roads, and out in the dirt. Not too far up on the left, we take back off, head back into the narrower tracked roads. There we go. That's interesting. You can't hear the. It was funny that day. We didn't see, well, actually, I was back at the pack, so I probably wouldn't seen too much in the way of wildlife since all the other guys had gone back by first, probably scared away most everything. So, anyway, oh, a couple of guys there. Yeah, it's kind of odd. I don't hear my the actual sound from the ride. Anyway, well, I know what I'm gonna do. There you go. Now we got the motor slowing down. Well, you have to bear with me, folks. This is just pretty much a learning lesson. Hopefully, in time, I'll get better at this stuff. This is the first time I've done voiceover, so it's not real intuitive for me. Yeah, this was a real fun part of the ride too. This was nearing the very end, so just before we headed back into town, and you can call Pahrump a town. Well, I want to thank you folks for watching. If you've lasted this long, you're pretty durable. Coming to the end of the ride now, so hope it was entertaining. Yeah, it's funny how fast the other bikes disappear. This camera doesn't really have much range and distance, so it's it doesn't. Once they're about 100 yards in front of me, you can't even see them. Well, we're back on pavement now. So